That First Chronicles I read 2 days ago, 24. That would be where you find the division where Zacharias served in the temple, and then you could date uh, either in the fall or the spring to when the Messiah was born. If you go back from there, which would be First Luke. So First Luke tells you when Zacharias, what division he was in. First Chronicles 24 tells you what dates he served. Kind of calendars get jumbled, 13 months, and so we know it's in the spring or the fall. Best estimates. One thing we do know that it's not December 25th. All right, so this is one of those things in the Old Testament that you can use to discern whether you're worshiping in spirit and in truth. Okay, so here's verse 26. First Chronicles 26. We're talking more lining out the Levites. Concerning the divisions of the porters of the Korites is Mesophthalmia and son of Kor, and the sons of Alf, and the sons of Melshama, and Zechariah the firstborn, Jedidiah the son of Zebiah, the third, Jenael the fourth, Elam the fifth, Jehohanan the sixth, Elonoi the seventh. Moreover, the sons of Obed Edom were Shemaiah, which was born of Jehozadad the second, Jonah the third, Sakar the fourth, Nathaniel the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, Penethuel the eighth, God bless him. Unto Shemaiah his son was born, that ruled throughout the house of their father, for they were mighty men of valor. And Shemaiah, Othoniel, and Raphael, Obed Elzad, whose brethren were strong men. Eliahu and Sammika were all these sons of Obed Edom, and their sons and their brethren, able men of service for service, and 62 of Obed Edom. Meshillemah, the sons and brethren, of strong men, 18. Also, Hosa of the children of Merari had sons. Simri the chief, for he was not the firstborn, yet his father made him chief. Hilkiah the second, Tabaliah the third, Zechariah the fourth, and the sons and the brethren of Honash were 13. Among these divisions of porter, even among the chief men, having towards and against one another to minister in the house of Jehovah, they cast lots, as well as small as great, and according to the house of their fathers for every gate. And the lot fell eastward to Shemaiah, for Zechariah his son, the wise counselor. They cast lots, and it came out northward. Obed Edom southward, and his sons, the house of Aspum, Shupim, Hoshash. The lot came forth westward, and the gate Shalkash by the causeway of going up towards and going up against ward. Eastward were 6 Levites, northward 4 a day, southward 4 a day, and toward Aspram and 2 and 2. At Parbar westward 4 at the causeway, and at 2 at Parbar. These are the divisions of the porters among the sons of Kor, and among the sons of Merari. And the sons of the Levites, Ahiah was over the treasures of the house of God, and over the treasures of the dedicated things. As concerning the sons of Ladan and the sons of Gershonite, Ladan the chief of the fathers was Ladan. The Gershonite were Jeheli. The sons of Jeheli were Zalem and Joel his brother, which were over the treasures of the house of Jehovah, and the Amorites, and the Zecharites, and the Hebronites, and the Uzziites. And Shebiel the son of Gershom, the son of Moses, was ruler of the treasures, and his brethren by Eleazar, Rebiah the son, and Jeshaniah his son, and Joram his son, and Zichri his son, and Shelomith his son, which Shelomiath his brethren were all over the treasures and the dedicated things, which David the king, and the chief fathers, and the captains over thousands and over hundreds, and the captains of the hosts had dedicated. Out of the spoils won in battle did they dedicate to maintain the house of Jehovah. And all that Samuel the seer, and Saul the son of Kirsh, and Abner the son of Ner, and Joab the son of Zeruiah had dedicated, and whoever had dedicated anything, it was under the hand of Shelomoth and his brethren. Of the Israelites, the Chaniah and his sons were outward business over Israel for officers and judges, and the Hebronites and Hebadai, Hashbaniah and his brethren, men of valor, and 1,700 were officers among them of Israel on this side of the Jordan, westward, and in all the business of Jehovah in the service of the king. Among the Hebronites was Jeriah chief, even among the Hebronites according to the generation of his fathers, in the 14th year of reign. And David, they were sought for them, and were found among them, mighty men of valor at Gezer of Gilead. And his brethren, the men of valor, were 2,700, the chief fathers, whom King David made ruler over the Reubenites and the Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh, for every matter pertaining to God and affairs of the king. Now the children of Israel, after their number, to wit, the chief fathers and the captains of thousands and hundreds, and their officers that served the king in any matter of course, which came and went out month by month throughout the months of the year, every course 24,000. Over that course for the first month was Jashobim, the son of Zadabediel, and in his course were 24,000. Of the children of Perez was the chief of all captains of hosts of the first month, and over the coast of the second was Dodai, and Ahoite, and of course was Mekoth, also their ruler. In his course likewise were 24,000. And the captain of the hosts of the third month was Benaiah, the son of Jedidiah, the chief priest, and in his course were 24,000. It was that Benaiah who was mighty among the 30. Above the 30 in his course was Azamadabad, his son. The fourth captain for the fourth month was Ashiel, the brother of Joab, and Zebediah, the son after him, and in the course there were 24,000. The fifth captain in the fifth month was Shamush, the Israelite, and in his course were 24,000. This is 27, verse 9. In the sixth captain for the sixth month was Ira, the son of Ikesh, the Tekoite, and in his course were 24,000. The seventh captain for the seventh month was Helez, the Pelonite, and his children of Ephraim, and in his course were 24,000. The eighth captain for the eighth month was Zebekai, the Hushonite, and the Zerites, and in his course were 24,000. The ninth captain for the ninth month was Abiezar, the Anohite, and of the Benjamites, and in this course was 24,000. The 10th captain for the 10th month. So, you go through all of this stuff, and it's like, okay, but guess what? David did something, and who was who gave him counsel during that time? Then you would be able to date it to that month when Joaz said, hey man, don't count these guys. You shouldn't be counting them. And then he sent he sent him out there to count them anyway. But that would give us a date for that time. That's just coming to me like as I'm reading this stuff. The 10th captain, so you'd be able to time date this stuff by who was in the picture in the story. Gotcha? Merai, the neophyte, and the Zerites, and of course was 24,000. The 11th captain for the 11th month was Benaiah the Perite, and the children of Ephraim, and and in his course was 20 and 4,000. The 12th captain for the 12th month was Heldenai, and the Netharophite, and Othaniel, and of course here was 20 and 4,000. Furthermore, over the tribes of Israel, the ruler of the Rulamites was Eleazar the son of Zachari, and the Simonites, and Shaphath the son of Makkah. Of the Levites of Hashbaniah, the sons of Kemuel, and the Aaronites, Zadok. Of Judah, Eliahu, one of the brethren of David, and Issachar, Omri, the son of Michael, the Zebulun, and Ishmaiah, the son of Obadiah, and Naphtali, Jeremoth, the son of Azriel, and the children of Ephraim, Hoshea, the son of Azah, and the half a tribe of Manasseh is Joel, the son of Pedaiah. Of the half tribe of Manasseh in Gilead, Iddo, the son of Zechariah; of Benjamin, Jaziel, the son of Abner; and Dan, Aziel, the son of Joam. And these were the principals of the tribes of Israel. But David took not the number of them from 20 years old and under, because Jehovah had said, "In the world increase Israel like the stars of heaven." Joab, the son of Zeruiah, began to number. See, here's where it goes. Joab, the son of Zeruiah, began to number, but he finished not, because there fell wrath for against Israel. Neither was the number put in the account of the Chronicles of King David. And we know when we read Kings that it was a no-go to do this. And the king of the treasures was Azamoth, and the son of Adiel. Over the storehouses of the fields and the cities of the villages and the castles was Jehonathan, the son of Uzziah. And over them did the work of the field for the tillage of the ground was Uriah, the son of Chelub. And the vineyards was Shemaiah the Ramathite. And over the increase of the vineyards in the wine cellar was Zabdi, the Shibamite. And over the olive trees and the sycamore trees that were in the low plains was Baal-Hanan the Gederite. And over the cellars of oil was Joash. And over the herds that fed in Sharon was Sitrai, the Sharonite. And over the herds that were in the valleys of Shapnai was the son of Adali. And over the camels of Obdiel was an Ishmaelite. And over the asses was Jedidiah the Meronite. And over the flocks was Jehaziz the Hagarite. And these were all rulers of the substance which was King David's. Also Jonathan, David's uncle, was a counselor of wise men and a scribe. And Jehiel was the son of Hashmoi, and the king of sons. King was the king's sons. And Apholidil was the king's counselor. Hushani the Acherite was the king's companion. And after Othalidil, Othali fell, was Jediah the son of Benaiah, and Alibathar the general king's army was the general of king's army was Joab. And David assembled all the princes of Israel, and the princes of the tribes, and the captains, and the companies, and ministered to the king by, of course, the captains over the thousands, and the captains over the hundreds, and the stewards over the substance, and the possessions of the kings and his sons with his officers, and the mighty men with all the valiant men unto Jerusalem. Then David the king stood upon his feet and said, "Hear me, my brethren, my people. As for me, I had mine heart to build a house of rest for the ark of the covenant of Jehovah, but for the footstool of our God had made ready for the building. But God said unto me, Thou shalt not build the house for my name, because thou hast been a man of war, and hast shed blood. Howbeit, Jehovah God of Israel chose me before all the house of my father to be king over Israel forever. For he hath chosen Judah to be ruler, and the house of Judah, the house of my father, among the sons of my father, he liked to make me king over all Israel. And of all my sons, for Jehovah had given me many sons, he hath chosen Solomon, my son, to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of Israel, of Jehovah over Israel. And he said unto me, Solomon, thy son, he shall build me the house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. Moreover, I will establish his kingdom forever, if he be constant to do my commandments and my judgments at this day. if you're in. Right on, okay, oh, right on, right on. So we got a big if there. Okay, now, therefore, in the sight of all Israel, the congregation of Jehovah, and the audience of our God, keep and seek for all the commandments of Jehovah your God, that ye may possess the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance for your children after you forever. So there we go, guys. There is that promise right there. That promise to Abraham that was renewed at Horeb in the day of the assembly when he gave them the 10 commandments. And he said, I will be your God and you will be my people. And I will give you the land. The 10 commandments, folks, is the anchor of his holy covenant. It goes in the ark of the covenant below the mercy seat. See how that works? His mercy. And thou, Solomon, my son, know thou God of thy father, and serve him for perfect heart. Perfect heart. Okay? Do a word search on perfect. Do like a word study on perfect. And you're going to find perfect heart. Perfect heart. Perfect heart. It's not about being perfect, folks. None of us are going to get through life being perfect. What we want is a perfect heart for him. Where we go, oh my goodness, I screwed up again. We're talking about David right here. How many times does David screw up? 2 big times. I mean, more than that, but 2 big times he screws up. God still loves him. Because he had a repentant heart, a poor and contrite spirit that trembles at his word. That's Isaiah 66. To serve him with perfect heart and a willing mind, for Jehovah searcheth all hearts and understandeth all imaginations of thoughts. If thou seek him, he will be found of thee. But if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever. What is the doctrine of the church today? What is the doctrine of the church today? Oh, that's the old commandment. That's the Old Testament. We're in the New Testament. Okay, guys. He sends his son to speak the words that came out of his mouth. But if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever. Judgment's coming, folks. Wake up. Take heed now, for Jehovah hath chosen to build a house for the sanctuary. Be strong and do it. Then David gave to Solomon his son a pattern for the porch, and of the houses thereof, and of the treasuries thereof, and the upper chambers thereof, and the inner parlors thereof, and the place of mercy seat, and the pattern of all that had the spirits of the courts in the house of Jehovah, and the house of the chambers round about, and all of the treasuries of the house of God, and the treasuries of the dedicated things, also for the course of the priests and the Levites, and for all the work of service, the house of Jehovah, and for the vessels of service in the house of Jehovah. He gave of gold by weight for things of gold, and all instruments and all manners of service. Silver also for all instruments of service by weight, for the instruments of every kind of service. Even for the weight of the candlesticks of gold, and for their lamps of gold, and the weight of every candlestick, for the lamps thereof, and the candlesticks, silver by weight, both for the candlestick, also the lamps thereof, according to the use of every candlestick. And by weight he gave gold for the tables of showbread, and for every table, and likewise for the silver and the tables of silver. Also, pure gold for the flesh hooks, and bowls, and the cups, and the golden basins. And he gave by weight for every basin. Likewise, silver by weight for every basin of silver. And the altar of incense, refined gold by weight. Gold for the pattern of the chariot and the cherubims, and they spread out their wings and covered the ark of the covenant with Jehovah. And all this, said David, Jehovah had made me understand in writing by his hand upon me, even all the works of his pattern. And David said unto Solomon his son, Be strong and of good courage, and do it. Fear not, nor be dismayed, for Jehovah God, even my God, will be with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee, until thou hast finished all the work for the service of the house of Jehovah. And behold, the courses of the priests and the Levites, and even them they shall be with thee for the service of the house of God. And there shall be with thee all manner of workmanship, and every skillful man, and for every manner of service. Also the princes of all the people will be holy at thy commandment. Chapter 29. Furthermore, David the king said unto all the congregation, Solomon my son, whom alone God hath chosen, is yet young and tender, and the work is great, for the palace is not for man, but for Jehovah God. Now I have prepared all my might with my house of God for the gold things made of gold, and the silver for the silver things, and the brass for the brass things of brass, and the iron for the things of iron, and wood for the things of wood, onyx stones, stones beset, glistening stones, and the divers colors, and all manner of precious stones, and marble stones in abundance. Moreover, I have set my affection for the house of my God. I have mine own proper good and gold and silver, which I have given to the house of God over and above all that I have prepared for the holy house. Even 3,000 talents of gold for the Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver to overlay the walls of the house withal. The gold things for the gold, and the silver things of the silver, and all manner of work be made by the hands of officers. And who then is willing to consecrate all this service unto Jehovah? Then the chief of the fathers and the princes and the tribes of Israel, and the captains of the thousands and of hundreds, and with the rulers, king's work, offered willingly, and gave for the service of the house of God of gold 5,000 talents, and 10,000 drams of silver, 10,000 talents of brass, and 18,000 talents, and 100,000 talents of iron. And they, with whom they precious stones they were found, gave them in the treasure of the house of Jehovah by the hand of Jael the Gershomite. And the people rejoiced, for they offered willingly, because with a perfect heart they and David and the all rejoiced with great joy. Therefore David blessed Jehovah and before the congregation. And David said, Blessed be thou, Jehovah God of Israel, our Father, forever and ever. Thine, O Lord, is greatness, and the power, and the glory, and the victory, and all majesty. For heaven and earth is thine, and thy kingdom, O Jehovah, and thou art exalted as head above all. Both riches and honor come out of thee, and they reignest all over. In thy hand is the power and might, and in thy hand is it to make great and to give strength unto all. Now therefore, our God, we thank thee and praise thee, glorious name, Jehovah. But who am I? That is my people, that we should be able to offer so willingly this sort, for all things come of thee, and of thy own we have given thee. For we are strangers before thee, and sojourners, and we, our fathers, our days on earth are as a shadow, and there is none abiding. O Jehovah our God, all this store we have prepared to build thee a house for thy holy name. Build the house for his holy name. I'll say it again. My Bible changes his holy name over 6,000 times. What are we doing, people? I know also, my God, that thou triest the heart. He trieth the heart. He tests the heart. And he has pleasure in uprightness. Uprightness. That's obeying the Ten Commandments, folks. Of my heart, I have willingly offered all these things, and now I have seen the joy with these people. They are present to offer willingly unto thee, O Jehovah, God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, our fathers. Keep this forever in the imagination and the thoughts and the hearts of the people, and prepare thy heart unto thee. And give unto Solomon my perfect heart. And give unto Solomon my perfect heart. To keep thy commandments and thy testimonies and thy statutes, and to do all these things, and to build the palace for which I have made provision. Right there, we get a definition, right? There's a definition right there. Pay attention. And I give to Solomon my perfect heart to keep thy commandments. Okay? Let me just real quick, I'm just going to turn to Matthew. Matthew 5. This is the Beatitudes, people. I'm going to go to the last verse. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Be ye therefore perfect. Have a perfect heart. Obey his commandments. Okay, and we say, oh, he didn't tell. What? Let me go to let me go to Genesis. I'm going to go to Genesis 17. I'm already there, folks. And when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, Jehovah appeared to Abraham and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect. Folks. We are dropping the ball big time. Dropping the ball big time. You know what loving God with all your heart is? Loving God with all your heart is obeying his 10 commandments. It's Deuteronomy 6, verse 5. Deuteronomy 5 is his commandments, if you're confused about which commandments he's talking about. And give unto Solomon my perfect heart to keep thy commandments, thy testimonies, thy statutes. And David said to all the congregation, now bless Jehovah your God. And all the congregation blessed Jehovah their fathers, and bowed their heads, and worshiped Jehovah and the king. And they sacrificed sacrifices unto Jehovah, and offered burnt offerings unto Jehovah. And the morrow and the day after, and 1,000 bullocks, and 1,000 rams, and 1,000 lambs, with their drink offerings, and 1,000 in abundance for all of Israel, and did eat and drink before Jehovah on the day with great gladness. And they made Solomon the son of David king. For the second time they anointed him unto Jehovah to be the chief governor, and Zadok to be the priest. And Solomon sat on the throne of Jehovah the king instead of David his father, and he prospered. All Israel obeyed him, and the princes and the mighty men and the sons likewise of the king David submitted themselves unto Solomon the king. And Jehovah magnified Solomon exceedingly in the sight of all Israel, and bestowed on him such royal majesty as not yet seen on any king before him in Israel. And David the son of Jesse reigned over all Israel. And the time that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. 7 he reigned in Hebron, and 7 he reigned in Hebron. 33 years he reigned in Jerusalem. And he died at good old age, full of riches and honor, and Solomon his son reigned in his stead. Now the acts of David the king, the first and the last, behold, they are written in the book of Samuel the seer, and in the book of Nathan the prophet, and in the book of Gad the seer. Those books aren't in our Bible, are they? And with all his reign, his might, and over the times they went over him, and over Israel, and over the kingdoms of the countries. Whew. That is First Chronicles, guys. That's all the way through First Chronicles. Now, the Blue Letter Bible app gives us a psalm to read today to follow that up. And the psalms are like icing on the cake. It is wild. Wow. Man, did we get a good, that be thou perfect, what being perfect means. Man, that perfect heart. Give my son that perfect heart. Except Yehovah, okay, this is Psalm 127. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. If the house isn't of the Lord, they labor in vain to build it. Except the Lord keepeth the city, the watchman walketh, but in vain. So if you're not doing it for Jehovah, it's vanity. It is vain to rise up early and to sit up late and to eat the bread of sorrows, for He giveth his beloved sleep. Lo, children are a heritage unto Jehovah, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of the mighty, so are the children of youth. Happy is the man that has his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. Speak with the enemies in the gate. He talks about the watchmen. What are the watchmen to do? They're supposed to get in the gate, keep sin out of the camp. Wow, wow, wow. So that was the end of Chronicles and Psalm 127. To understand Psalm 127, you have to understand the idioms the Bible uses. The Bible's written with idioms, it's written with parables. It's like a secret language. You need the Holy Spirit to guide you through it. That would be John. We pray to the Father and ask him for truth. And he tells you, if you love me, keep my commandments. Then he prays to the Father for you. That's Yeshua. Prays the Father on your behalf so that you can get the second comforter, the Spirit of truth, that not all men can have. Just the ones that obey his commandments. All right, folks, that is day 147, Blue Letter Bible app, Bible in a Year. I love you.